last time we witnessed OsamaSon address being a clone or being compared to other artists such as Carti and Carson, it didn't go too well. Early 2023 and 2024 were some of the toughest years for OsamaSon because yeah, he was growing and getting tons of exposure from music, you know, but there was also a huge audience like Opium, for example, that really ain't appreciate him, you know, and whenever he was mentioned, they just either called him a clone or said that he was copying everything that Carti and Ken do. And I remember the shit got so bad that even OsamaSon label and his team took it up a notch and proceeded to promote him based off being so-called a clone or comparing him to Ken Carson. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't have done this because to be honest with you, we can see it now. It worked for him, right? He did get tons of exposure. I mean, even sometimes he would purposely pose and have the same scenery as Carti had in his old picture and do it himself. And the hate that he gained from doing things like this only gave him more push. But here's where things don't make sense because I just seen a video of Ken Carson co-signing Xavier So Bass, right? And someone quote tweeted this and said, why is Ken Carson co-signing everybody close to OsamaSon but him? And y'all proceed to act confused when y'all literally are the problem. Not saying the guy that made this tweet is the problem, but people in general on Twitter and in different audiences, bro, y'all are the problem. This was already confirmed back in 2024, but there were Twitter accounts being paid to promote anything Ken Carson related to just include OsamaSon every time. And the fan base has only made things 10 times worse and made things weird between each other. And y'all seen it for yourself. These fans, they have a weird obsession with putting Ken Carson and OsamaSon against each other, right? I know that situation happened where y'all said that Ken Carson was trying to blackball OsamaSon, but he really wasn't. It was confirmed that wasn't true. But you still have this weird obsession with comparing these two artists. And we really don't know anything, but why are people expecting them to be buddy-buddy with each other? Especially Ken Carson being buddy-buddy with OsamaSon, you know? You actually have people that think that OsamaSon needs recognition from Opium. Y'all done already seen how far he came, bro, and what cosigns he didn't already receive. Why does anything Opium related matter for him right now? He already hasn't got no cosigns for them. Why are we making that a problem? And why are y'all clowning Ken Carson for not giving him that cosign? Like, what? And I really never thought that OsamaSon was going to entertain this conversation of just being compared to so-called a clone, but he actually did recently on a video with Flight Club. And we have the clip right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this for y'all.
How was it felt when people are quick to say, like, you're copying this thing or that thing?
I just had to realize that it's not bad being compared to good people. It could be different if I was being compared to like horrible people or people who did awful shit, but it's like y'all compared me to like the best people who've ever done it. So, you know, I just had to realize that like it's not even a diss at the end of the day. Really, if you look at it like that, like who wouldn't want to be compared to the GOATs? Everything's gonna get compared no matter like for the rest of life.
Yeah.
Even if robots take over, they're gonna start comparing shit. Like everything's getting compared. Yeah.
Are you afraid of with robots taking over?
Low key, hopefully I'm just not here to see it happen, but I just don't want to go through it.
And I'm not gonna lie, that's not a bad way to think about it because honestly, when you're getting compared to all these great artists and you're still growing, why does it really matter? You have a support base. Why do you think outside of that? And he really shouldn't care because there's artists that's doing the same shit that he's doing and they're getting praised for it. So people are just picking and choosing. And that brings me to my point where I talk about that actually because we all know that underground has this issue with comparisons and calling people clones, okay? And I'm not saying that these guys don't have similarities, whoever who they copying or taking inspiration from, but I feel like the underground doesn't want to admit there's a huge problem with a lot of people picking and choosing. Let me just remind y'all watching the video, I like everybody music I'm gonna mention in here, but I just seen the same people bashing Dior versus You for being a so-called Destroy Lonely clone, right? Hard Rock for sounding so-called like Side Baby, right, at times, because he's inspired from him, obviously. OsamaSon for so-called being a Ken Carson clone in 2023 when he didn't sound like him at all. But now those same people are praising Che for resting bass on this new album. That's not everybody that dealt with the comparison issues or so-called being a clone issue, but those same people are praising, not even just Che, they praising 9 too. It's like people don't want to make their mind up and y'all just picking and choosing. If it ain't your favorite artist or whatever, or you not tapped in for real, you just quick to jump on that trend of calling that dude a clone or saying that he copying somebody else. And I'm not saying that these guys are copying because I vouch for them, all of the artists that I just mentioned, but y'all not keeping the same energy for everybody, you know? And we all know everybody in this scene look up to their favorite artist. And after watching that video of OsamaSon and what he said, that's why I want to tell every underground artist that's on the rise right now, when you getting compared to someone over and over or bashed for so-called being a clone, who really know your intentions with that shit? But don't get discouraged and just keep going because most of the shit is just all yeah. Yes, the underground cares, but they don't truly care, if that makes sense. Like for example, I remember when Tana was going full in with the whole thug inspiration and people clowned the shit out of him.
PSA to all you hating niggas out there. I think the lamest thing you could do is give too much of a about what I'm on. So get off my dick and go get you some money while you at it, pussy.
And them same people that was clowning him are praising 9 now. You feel me? You see how this shit works? And things like that show you that none of this conversation matters. If your music good and you have a fan base and you're somewhat growing, why should you care? People gonna talk either way. And no, I'm not encouraging cloning or underground rappers just flat out copying people. I'm speaking for those that do a little spin-off or something, who have a little inspiration, who just want to pay homage. I'm speaking for those people, you know? And maybe I'm pushing it, but I feel like almost every new artist right now is dealing with that shit, dude. And there's a lot of people that like to say, yo, 2021 was so original, but I'm not gonna lie, I was around during that time. They weren't dealing with the same exact thing, but you know how many people were getting called for so-called copying somebody? Do y'all know how many blog pages were back in 2021 and 2022 still calling underground rappers just clones of the 2016 artists? Maybe it wasn't as worse as it is now, and y'all can say if I'm wrong in the comments. I remember Ack and Annoying TV, I don't know if Ack said it or he agreed to it, but they said Fago was a Uzi clone.
Who's the Uzi clone? Right, there's multiple Uzi clones. Who's the? I don't think it's pull up his. So Fago's the Uzi clone. Sorry.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, they didn't like Ken Carson at all. Like, bro, just listen to this.
Let me speak. From what I heard in that snippet, it feels like he's a clone of a Playboi Carti, something like that. So like right now, the industry is so wild.
Like, bro, I'm just looking at these old chat logs. I'm seeing people say Ken Carson was a Uzi knockoff, or that he was just a clone of Playboi Carti. This is really how they was thinking back then, and this is proof to show you. And the reason why I say it's a full cycle is because those rappers are still around to this day. But there are people out there that do want to flat out just copy somebody and not be original at all. That's weird, okay? We not sticking up for them. But I'm sure y'all get the gist of what I'm saying, you know? And I really feel like what OsamaSon was saying was really good for his case, because it's not only good PR, but he played it smart. He not adding anything on top of that, trying to build some controversy or some gimmick or whatever the fuck. He just staying humble, and I think he gonna still grow from here, because honestly there was a huge balance with him having good music and having those clone comparisons and all that shit going on. There was a huge balance, and the music really spoke for itself. He obviously don't sound like these artists or whatever, and y'all done seen it for the past 2 years. People be talking shit all the time, but he still is proceeding to grow and get huge cosigns like Yeek, for example, or Uzi. Y'all seen it with Che. He's still growing. He had a whole album where he was so-called copying Carti, right? There's hella people on TikTok making videos about it and all that. There's some people even praising him, right? But we all know that shit just don't matter, gang. Keep doing your thing, bro. Anyways, y'all let me know how y'all feel about this situation. Make sure y'all follow my IG and my Twitch. Right now, I stream very randomly on there. I love y'all so much. Y'all stay blessed. Peace.